So I see this a lot. We organize a lot of workshops, right? Online, offline, online, offline. And then we spend a lot of time. The workshops my team run, right? They take 2 weeks, to prepare. And then after that, time to practice, go over to the event place to set up, so much energy being expended. And then in the morning itself, they're there 2 hours beforehand, cleaning the place up, diffusing oils, making the environment nice, suitable and all that. And then making sure the energy is vibrant, and that welcoming to all our guests. And then we did a great presentation. Our guests love our stuff. And then we say bye-bye, right? And then, and we forgot to ask for the sale. Or we forgot a call to action. You know why? Because I forget. I get very excited about the workshop. Because if you think about it, 95% of us came because of wellness. And we really want our friends to feel well and healthy. So when we crafted that workshop, we wanted them to experience that, right? And we forget that we want them to also be part of us. By recommending it to them, you are actually helping them. You need to fix that in your mind first. Because if you think that you are taking something away from them, right, then you will always be embarrassed to ask. And sometimes the embarrassments might also cause you to forget. Because internally, subconsciously, unconsciously, your mind works that way, right? You don't want to feel that way. You block yourself from thinking that way, right? And you naturally forget to ask. So one of the first things you want to do is unblock that mindset and help yourself think that you're actually doing your friend a favor. And you know what? Your friend might not be ready for it. And it's okay if they're not ready for it. If they're not ready for it and they say, hang on, Penny, I'm gonna take some time. If I take some time, I'll come back to you. Fine. That's the reason why we need to build our network, right? And we spend time with people who are ready. We give them time and educate them. But first, we need to fix our own mindset. How do you ask for the sale and always get it? How do you ask for the sale and always get it? So one of the first things that I do is probably when I craft events, try to craft not just one singular event. Don't craft an event and expect to sell in that event alone, right? Example, don't make a post and expect to sell in that post alone, right? What we need to do is always think from the mindset of giving value to people. When we give value to people whom we interact with and help them solve their problem, they will always come back to us, right? So the call to action for asking for something does not have to be a sale in the beginning, right? Why do most people do not buy in the beginning? It could be an internal program in them. Some people are tuned to buy the first time they're pitched. Some maybe takes 2 times of pitching. So asking for the sale does not have to be a sale per se. It can be an action. So your type of event that you're crafting, right? The call to action doesn't have to always be buy from me or buy now, right? You want to learn to create what we call a funnel. A funnel is a series of events or a series of interaction which you have touch points with your network, right? So the first one would be maybe a simple one, right? Like if you're talking about healthy living, how is nutrition important for the immune system? You may want to give a talk on that, a Zoom call on that. And at the end of the day, the call to action or what you're asking is, hey, if you want to know more about what product I use to help me boost my immune system, I've got the next workshop. So if you like today's sharing, why don't you come to the next workshop? So you're not selling, or you're not asking to buy anything in the first workshop at all, right? But what you did was you created a lot of value. And when you created that value, that trust and that bond between you and your customer or your network is established, right? Because they as we are learning from them, and we are learning their behaviors, they're also trying to learn us. They're also trying to know where we are, right? Are we scammers? Are we people who don't know what we talk about, right? Maybe we don't have knowledge, right? So they are also evaluating us. So there are a lot of people who don't buy the first round. So it's okay. So create a funnel. First class could be half an hour, 45 minutes, just focusing on value, how nutrition is important for the immune system. Example, right? And then the next topic could be so the call to action is, oh, if you like what I share with you today, come for my next session. It's happening a week from now, but you have to sign in, so their call to action is sign in or register, so you know who's coming. And I'll be showing you what products I use, right? If 40 people, if your first workshop has 40 people, then the second workshop has 30 people. That means there are 30 people who's like your first workshop and willing to give you another chance, right? And this is what we call a qualified lead. And a qualified lead is actually the chances of them buying from you in the future is very high, and you can keep promoting and promoting, and they will keep buying and buying. Yeah. The next thing, then of course, if you want, you could ask for the sale in your second workshop. But in your second workshop, you could just say what products you could use, what products or types of products you could use, right? In the third workshop, then only you can tell them, oh, what products you use, right? Always make it short, not too long, so that it doesn't take up much of their time. Usually by the third workshop means they love you, they're your fan base. What you want to do is you want to convert your networks into your fans. When they follow you, then whatever you ask them to do, they will do, because then they trust you, they trust your recommendation. Because by that time, they go like, I've already experienced Penny talking about the products. I've seen her photos, she was like that before. Oh, wow, she's in her 40s and she still look great, I want to give it a try. And you know what, in her first two classes, she did it for free, so what do I have to lose? She gave her time. So when I notice when you do this kind of funneling, it helps with closing better. What's important is that the funnel needs to solve a real problem. Yeah, think from your network or your participants' perspective, right? And not your perspective. So don't think from a sales perspective. Don't think about what you want to sell. Think about what problem you can solve. That's why it comes back to your oils. You have to use them, right? Because when you use them, you are solving your own problem. When you have that problem, most other people will have that problem as well. So when you solve that problem, you will help all the other people in that same niche category solve that problem. Then you will have a lot of people who want to buy from you or join you and want your advice, right? So every one of us then is not a competition, because every one of us have different problems we are solving. We can actually work together, because I will have a different problem I want to solve. You will have a different problem you want to solve. The beauty of this is that when we work together collectively as a group, we can solve more problems.